early on in my prosecuting career, I saw a need for more dedicated time to especially child sexual abuse. And as time went on, it proved to be true that these cases were just falling through the cracks. Not because they weren't important, it was just because the detectives that we had at the Sheriff's Department were just handling so many calls. So they're handling everything from a theft to a murder and everything in between.
You try to be as in-depth when you investigate something as you can, but you're fighting back waves because the calls don't stop, the crimes don't stop.
When this grant opportunity became available, it wasn't actually designed, I don't believe, for a full-time detective, but that was the need that we had. And so when we reached out initially, said, would you be interested in maybe funding this? And the first answer was no, that's not what it's for. Fortunately, they got back to us and said, we've thought more about this, we would like to potentially fund it. So the need was there because there were so many child sex abuse cases that just weren't being investigated. And as you might imagine, any sexual abuse case, there's normally not eyewitnesses. These crimes don't take place in public, right? These crimes take place in private. So if, without sufficient evidence, they're very difficult to prove. So oftentimes you have a victim telling you it happened and you have a defendant saying it didn't happen. So we have to find some corroborating evidence, and that's really where Cody stepped in and done a marvelous job through this grant to obtain that information, to obtain cell phone data through search warrants, to obtain DNA analysis through search warrants. And we've been able to connect those dots with cell phones, with computers, with a lot of other evidence. We've been able to connect and verify and corroborate the victim stories that's led to some real successful prosecutions.
Investigating these things in a timely manner are important. Devoting time to it is important. There's a case I can't go into a lot of detail about right now that's active, but this was a case that had a dramatic victim when I was in a uniform on the road, and I handled that initial call. And that investigation was still open when I was lucky enough to get this position, and that case is under indictment now. I was able to see it towards the finish line, and I've been with that victim throughout the entire way.
This grant started in June of '24. In that time, there have been over 50 open cases that Detective Pozzelli has worked. There have been over 11 felony indictments. There have been prison sentences that are life imprisonment cases. And a lot of these are child victims, not all, but a significant portion, unfortunately, are child victims. And having someone dedicated that when a child victim reports an assault, for him to be able to not have to handle another case, not have to handle a theft case or a murder case or a burglary case. Instead, when that child victim reports it, he immediately starts working on the case, and that's made a world of difference.